Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we will discuss a topic of a very important topic in research, giving references, endnotes, footnotes, and bibliography, because these three or four topics they cannot be discussed in separation. So we have to discuss them one by one. First of all, in any research, this lecture is particularly for the beginners, those who are starting their research. Sometimes there is a small research project in the final semesters of BS programs, and then in MPhil there is thesis and PhD. Those who are familiar with it, they know very well about giving references and in-text citations and notes and footnotes. But let's discuss it. First of all, we need to understand why do we need to give these references. Now I have opened this site, um, not site but slide. It is there is a red arrow and a name and a year is written here, like Copsell 2006, Mallory and Thomas 2003. Now, whenever we are writing some literature review in research or giving some introduction, we need to give some references which are relevant to our research and our topic. And this type of references and citations, which these are given inside the text, like at the end of the paragraph, or they can be at the beginning of a paragraph. So, name of the writer and the year of publication is given here, and we paraphrase it in our own words in order to avoid copy paste and plagiarism. So this is a simple way of giving references, which we mostly observe in most of the articles which we download from ResearchGate or some other highly reputed journals. When we download research articles and theses also, we find about 80 to 90% this type of citations, these type of citations are given. Now, because these two only the name and the year of publication is given, now we have to give a reference of it, a complete reference, a normal APA MLA style which we write. Now, in writing a reference, let's move to the next slide. This is how we give references at the end of our thesis, at end of our work. Like it's written Baker, the last name of the writer, then the first letter of the first name of the writer, then there is year of publication, then the name of the book or name of the article, then the journal, and then the uh, year of publication is already given. Only the name of the book, or sorry, the title of the book or title of the research article is given there, and then the name of the journal is given there. And sometimes we write, uh, we call it name of the journal or publishing agency, whatever the publishing agency is. So sometimes we write the page numbers, and sometimes we don't write the page numbers. Writing page number is not essential in giving references. So this is a normal way to give reference in a thesis or in a research article. And now the question is, why do we give these references? We write these references to give an explanation to our thoughts, and to give an explanation to the reader, to the evaluator, to the reader, that some sort of relevant research has already been done over it, and we try to give different and multiple ideas about our research, related to our research. So different authors, they are included to explain the point of view and explain your research which you are going to investigate. This is the basic purpose, to give references. So without references our research is always incomplete. So this is a normal way of giving citations and references. Now let's move to, first of all we need to understand what are footnotes and what are endnotes. Now remember, footnotes and endnotes are also the references. but the style of writing those references is completely different from normal styles which I have already discussed. Footnotes, in a similar way as I told you that there is an the purpose is to give an explanation that what other authors and what other writers have done relevant to your research. Now see this page, there is written introduction, and in introduction there is in this page, at the end of the third paragraph there is a super number 2 is given here, a small 2 number, let me make it highlighted, this 2 number at the end of the third paragraph. Now come at the bottom of the page. At the bottom of the page again the number 2 is given here. We propose a novel application for the simulation of robots. So this number 2, these, when we give some sort of explanations or some sort of references at the end of every page, that is called a footnote. And why these number 1 and number 2 is written, because when we want to read that from where this line, as at it is written at the end of paragraph 3 number 2, that who has written this line and from where these lines came, so we will jump towards the end of the page where it is written number 2, and there is all the detail of the lines or the quotation or some explanation is given. And most of the times in this footnotes we write the name of the writer and the year of publication, and that's it, and the title of the book also. So it is different from, writing style is different from normal style, but actually the purpose of the footnote is to create ease for the reader, so that at the end of the page the reader can easily understand that which source or which reference has been used, and from which particular source these particular lines have been taken. As I'm talking about this paragraph number 3 of this page, and this paragraph number 3, when we read number 2 is given, then we read the line here, we suppose a novel application, so it means the reference has been given according to this one. So we give the reference at the end of every page. This is called these are called the footnotes. Now let's move to another. Here I have given the endnotes, like 142, 143, 144. These are the uh, numbers of references which we are giving at the end, because the end notes, they are given at the end of your research article or at the end of your thesis. Now remember, giving references in end notes is similar to give reference in normal APA style, which I have discussed first, to give a citation and give a reference, because normally the references and the bibliography, it is written at the end of the research work, but the writing style is certainly different. In these end notes you can say the name of the book is written there, uh, then some abbreviations are given here, and the date of publication, year of publication is given here. So as we write in normal styles, what we write is the last name of the author, then the first letter of the first name, then the year of publication, then the book, then the name of the publishing agency. But in this, we simply write the name of the book and the first letters, and then the super number is given. Super number means when we write number 1, number 2, number 3, the references which are given, which are written almost at the top of a word. So these are called endnotes. The difference between footnotes and endnotes is that the endnotes, they are given at the end of the research work collectively, but the footnotes, they are given at the bottom of each and every page wherever we have used some references to give some and these footnotes, they are mostly used in legal affairs, like you read a constitution of some country, you read some law books, so explanation is given at the end of the pages. As far as our research is concerned, in this particularly linguistics research, we normally use normal references, like giving in-text citation and then giving a list of the writers and their references at the end of the research work. So the difference between endnotes and footnotes and normal APA style, that I have told you. Now let's move on to our first slide, let's say what are the end notes. So let's define it. The end notes, they are a kind of information which has been provided to the reader, so the reader can understand that from which source this particular information has been taken. For example, this sentence is written here: the community was satisfied by the social system, and it is written in inverted commas, there is a super number one is written. So at the end of the thesis or the research article, when we will give this reference of this line, that from which source this line has taken, we will write the same super number one. So the reader will easily understand that number one will refer back to the number one. So it will be easy for the reader to get information that from which source this information has been taken. And then endnotes lets the reader know where you found your, okay, in simple words, these are also references and citations, because endnotes means these are also references. We simply want to explain that from which source we have taken some information. And in normal references, again, we tell our reader, we inform our reader that which was our source of information, and we from which source of information we have taken our information. Now the question is, why do we need to write this reference, or to tell the reader from which source we have taken the information? So this is the basic settled principle of research. When you are doing research, you have to give the reference, because if you are misinterpreting and using someone else's thoughts, converting them into your own, it falls under piracy. So it is a settled principle that whatever the ideas you have taken from any other research article or thesis, you have to mention it. Now, writing an endnote, author's first name, then last name. So in normal style of reference, we write the last name, then the first letter of the first name. But here it is first name, the last name, title of the book, publishing company's name, date of publishing, page number of quoted phrase. Now in endnotes, page number is essential, but in normal references, page number is not essential. That when we talk about the reference, so in endnotes we write the page number, so if any reader wants to get information from that particular research work, he can easily get that page number and to read the information. Like I have given, for example, if I give a reference from a research book, and I have taken this reference from page number 372. Now at the end note I will write page number 372, so the reader who wants to get the source of the information, he will directly jump to the book and open the page number 372, and he will find out that this was the source of information. So to create ease for the reader and to provide him information. And I have already told you what are the footnotes. They are written at the bottom, and whatever the sentences, they are written above the references given to them. Begins with the same the superscript numbers are given there, and specific page number is also given there, as we have already discussed. And to source provides the full publishing information, so the full publishing information is also given there, the city of publishing, publishing company, page number, etc. So all the information they are provided. Now let's see what is the difference between footnotes and bibliography. So in footnotes, information is separated by commas, while in the bibliography it is separated by time, you can say. This periods means the brackets that we use. In footnotes, the author's name is listed first, while in the bibliography, the author's name is listed last, as we have already discussed. The first name and the last name. In bibliography or references, the first name is, last name is given in the beginning, and then the first alphabet of the first name. And in footnotes, we write the first name and then the last name. And in footnotes, the title of the book and journal are put in italics, which is not necessary in normal referencing. The titles of the article are put in quotation marks, which is again not necessary. All the key words in titles are capitalized. So the keywords, they are capitalized, like when we are writing a line. So excluding the articles and the determiners and some prepositions, the rest of the keywords, they are always capitalized. So these are the differences between footnotes and endnotes. uh, Actually, there is one point which I want to make clear here. It is about the in this difference between footnotes and bibliography references. In footnotes, information is separated by commas, while in the bibliography it is separated by the periods. Here, the periods means the full stop, or the full point, or the full stop where something ends. A kind of, you can say, a punctuation mark. It is a punctuation mark, full stop. In simple words, you can say full stop. So these are a few of the differences which have been given here, and apart from that, in normal references there is APA style and there is MLA style. Most of the times APA style is used by the researchers. And if you like, because we are very much used to of normal referencing style, so finding endnotes and footnotes is always very difficult for people living in our area, particularly in Pakistan. We find it difficult, and specifically in linguistics research, most of the research articles in even highly reputable journals, they hardly use any footnotes or any endnotes. They prefer to use the normal references and normal bibliography styles. But it is not any hard and fast rule. It depends upon the instructor and the researcher, that which kind of style they want to use. But overall, these footnotes, these endnotes, this referencing style, they are same. The purpose of writing these references is to give information about the source, from where you have get your point, from where you have taken some lines or taken some ideas which you have inserted or included in your research. Thank you.